All right, it is chapter 16 of the Life Care Training Workbook, the chapter entitled Missional Vision. The purpose of this section is it's kind of derived from the existential therapy modality of existential therapy created by Viktor Frankl. He was a prisoner. He was a psychologist, Jewish psychologist, and in World War II he was put into a concentration camp, a work camp. He did survive, but while he was in the camp, he noticed that the prisoners who had something to live for, something bigger than themselves, something to look forward to, something that they could hope in, they were the ones that kept going. And that the prisoners who lost hope, who didn't have a reason to go on, even though things were absolutely brutal, I mean, really horrific, like the most horrific circumstances that you can possibly imagine, they gave up if they didn't have something to hope in. If they did have something to hope in, they persevered. They kept going. They found a way to keep going. And this is all chronicled in the book Man's Search for Meaning. And when he found a way to write down his observations as he was in the camp and store them away. And then after he was released, he created this existential therapy. And it's all based on the idea that no matter what your life circumstances are, if you have something bigger than yourself to live for, you can persevere through a lot of really awful things, okay? And so existential coaching follows those same kind of guidelines, those same kind of principles that we're wanting to connect on top of helping people with their cognitive life, their behavioral life, their emotional life, and on top of helping them to have goals and improved relationship and good communication and all those skills that we've learned so far. Those are all great and wonderful and will help, but we want to anchor our clients, or we want to help them to anchor themselves to something that's bigger than them. Now, from a Christian perspective, obviously this is God, this is kingdom mindset, this is about eternal perspective and all of those things, okay? And for those who are not Christians, then everything else is if it's something in this world, then it's dependent upon the things in this world, and if you don't believe in anything beyond this world, then when this world ends, and it will one day, even if it's not until the sun explodes, and that's a kind of a scientific fact. So there will come a point where this world is no longer here, and whatever you've put your faith or your hope in, whether it's the environment or your children or any one of the noble causes that you could find here on earth, it's going to be finite, and it's going to be sort of erased at some point by time and space. And so only that which is transcendent perseveres beyond this world, okay? So, or continues to exist beyond this world. So that's, in my mind, just from a logical, rational perspective, it's like, do you want something to put your faith and hope in that is finite, or do you want something that is transcendent, something that is bigger than this world and something that this world can't touch? Seems like it's a safer bet to put your faith and hope in something bigger than this world. But for clients who can't get there, aren't there yet, or may never get there, then at least something, even in this world, that's bigger than them can serve as a prop for them in really difficult times. It can give them something to strive for. It can be sort of that North Star that they align themselves to, and they orient themselves, their lives to, so that when things get tough, they still have something to strive for. And so this section is about that. It's about looking at your life and saying, okay, how have I been uniquely gifted? What do I have to offer? What's the bigger purpose for my life? And hopefully that's in service of something that's even bigger than them, whether that's worldly or, beyond this world. And you want all those things to align, right? You want your daily life to line up with your medium range goals, your long-term goals, and then your ultimate vision of what this life is all about, where the meaning is, where the purpose is, the thing that's bigger than you, that you're contributing to in some way, shape, or form. Okay? And that doesn't have to be something like, changing the world. It could be, I'm going to be a good father, a good mother. I'm going to I'm going to be a good neighbor. I'm going to do something in my neighborhood. I'm going to do something in my church. I'm going to do something in my place of business. I'm going to serve really good sandwiches, because that serves people, and we need people to, make things work and make things run. And, I want there to be people to have good nutrition so that they can take care of their families. Maybe families is the thing that they care about. It just connect what you're doing to something bigger than you. What small part do you play? Small or big part do you play in serving this larger goal? Okay? That's what this section is all about. And so, in your session with your instructor, this is what you're going to work on. They're going to lead you through this series of questions that you can find on page 192 and so forth. And they're going to share with you the questions and do a writing exercise with you. And they're going to add some of their own questions and some of their own prompts to just help you think, help you flesh this out, and, create a set of data, kind of like in the cognitive behavioral coaching exercise when we did the functional thoughts and actions plan. Where you capture the thought that leads to the negative emotion, and then the form asks you a bunch of questions about that thought to generate data, and then in the next step, you use that data to construct a new thought. Well, it's similar to that here. You're going to answer these questions, and those are going to be your data points, and then from those data points, you're going to create a missional vision. So when it comes time to actually do the writing for this exercise, there's no wrong answers here. You're just brainstorming. You're just kind of almost like free association. Just whatever comes up for you, just move the pen, write it down. You're not committing to anything. You're just writing down whatever comes to mind, whatever inspiration you have. Just get it down on paper. You can go back later and refine it, cross some things out, add stuff to it. You're not committing to anything here. You're just getting the ideas out, and you can construct something more concrete later from those ideas. Okay? And why are we doing this? Well, because we want you to do something with this material that you have learned. And so maybe your purpose has to do with coming alongside people as a coach and helping them to grow and develop into all that they can be. And maybe you connect that to some eternal value that you have, that you see this as a form of discipleship, and you see this as a function of the body of Christ, and that you want that body to be as healthy as it can, so that it can attract as many people as it can, so that the kingdom can grow and can be made manifest here on earth. That could be one reason to do all of this. But whatever it is for you, I want you to find it. I want you to get in touch with it, and I want it to become a part of who you are, a conscious part of who you are, not just sort of, accidentally doing good things, but doing them on purpose, with conviction, and with some higher sort of goal, some goal bigger than yourself in mind that you see your daily activities as being connected to. Okay? So that is the purpose of this exercise. Have fun with it. I hope it generates and sparks some ideas and some excitement in you, and I will see you on the other side. All right?